Well, Bob Shewan, nice to be with you this morning.
Yeah, thank you.
We're doing some interviews just to get people's memories of Port Stanley as it was a few years ago.
Yep.
Especially things that wouldn't be obvious to people visiting the village today. And we wanted to talk to you because of your work down by the harbor.
Yeah.
I'm hoping to get you to share some of your memories, so we can.
Yeah, I really
share
wasn't. I really wasn't the most liked individual in town because of the business and all the trucks we had. The boats would come in mainly with coal to start with. When I came down, before that, it got a little different, but coal, potash, MAP, DAP, grain screening pellets, salt, and I actually brought in a load of, or 2 loads in for the Red Tail Golf Course of sand for their pits. Yeah.
They imported sand to Port Stanley.
Yeah, it was really, really fine. In fact, when we took the inventory, about, I think it was close to 10 tons had blown away. That's how, and we only had it for not less than a month. We shipped up there. Yeah.
Oh, you had it at the
On
dock?
Yeah, it came in by ship and then shipped out by truck up to the golf course, Red Tail. And it was so fine that the wind blew a lot of it away. Yeah.
So when did you start working down there, Bob?
1982, yeah.
And what was your role?
I was the general manager of Lakes, or not Lakes Terminals at that time, it was Ultramar owned the property at that time. And they later sold it years later, yeah.
And was there a big crew of people that worked with you there?
I had 3 people.
3
yeah,
people.
And mainly for clerk work, secretarial, and loading of trucks with front-end loaders, that type of thing, yeah.
And these days, of course, with the harbor the way it is, we don't see any of the big ships coming in. But in those days, how often did a big ship come in?
Well, my biggest year, I had 21 ships one year. And they varied from 10,000 tons to 30,000 tons. And the biggest ones all the time are potash. We had the distributor for Potash Corporation from Saskatchewan. And we had 3 domes on the other side of the river on the west side.
Yeah.
Which held 10,000 tons apiece. So when a freighter came in, it was usually 20 to 30,000 tons. So we usually filled all 3 if we could at the same time. And that was all trucked out. So you can imagine the truck traffic. 100 tons, approximately 3 trucks, right? So figure that out. It's a lot of trucks that would go up and down the road just for potash. Never mind coal. Never mind 28% urea ammonium nitrate solution, which started in the spring, which was extremely heavy because it went out in a matter of about 8 weeks, less than 8 weeks, and it was 20 million tons. So there was a lot of truck traffic. And I had to come down the street, go across the scale and away. Then in case of getting potash, would have to drive back up the street, over the bridge, down to load out of the domes, up to the next bridge, cross that bridge, back down and out of the scale. So that one truck would make 4 or 5 trips. So it was a lot of truck traffic every day, hundreds and hundreds of trucks.
And where was the scale?
Right at the entranceway, now where you come onto the lot, right there. There's a building and 72-foot scale right there. And then adjacent to that, there was another shed where we kept the loader and our tools and that type of stuff. Yeah.
That's gone now, is
It's
it?
all gone. Yeah.
Well, I remember when they were tearing that down, there was a lot of beautiful daffodils around that.
Yeah, there was. Yeah, it's weird. A lot of stuff grew there. I mean, coal coal comes from the ground. I mean, yeah, a lot of coal went through there though.
So coal was probably big when you started.
It was.
When
and
did you start seeing it disappear?
Yeah, I did. I went to St. Mary's Cement. That was the biggest contributor our shipping was. Every day there was at least 12 to 15 trucks of coal went out. So that was a couple hundred tons every day or more every day. So and it didn't take long to make an awful mess on the road, but I had an apparatus made up on my tractor. And I'd take it up and down the street, and I'd water the streets at the end of the day, so it wasn't too bad. But prior to that, there was a lot of controversy about the coal. One year, before I came down, actually, they brought in a load of coal the real fine stuff. What do you call? I can't remember what you call it now, but it blew all over town,
Ooh.
and it made one hell of a mess. So they had to clean the whole town virtually. Yeah, coke. That's what it was. A load of coke, which is just airborne, terrible stuff.
Powdered coal.
Yeah,
you know,
really,
over.
really fine because it's the best thing to combust in their ovens for heat. Yeah.
Yeah, because originally a lot of people used coal in their
Oh
homes.
God, yeah. Everybody here, use coal.
Yeah. And how seasonal was the work? I mean, the fertilizer must have been big in the spring and all that, or?
Yeah, well, we ship fertilizer, potash, just about all year long, really, because we went to various places for them filling up for their spring, right? Yeah, so we ship a lot of potash. We would have maybe 3 boatloads a year. Yeah, that'd be 100,000 tons of potash.
And was there a part of the winter when the ships couldn't come in?
Yeah, but not the time I spent there. It only froze over once. That was it, and it all came from Ashtabula, so it didn't have to go through the canal or anything. It just went straight right across the lake. Yeah. So no, once it froze up totally. No, we got no problem.
When did it all shut down, Bob?
10, I guess 2010.
Yeah.
It all shut down. Yeah.
Had you retired before that?
I retired the same year it shut down.
Okay.
The reason we shut down, we couldn't get any boats in anymore. They wouldn't
Yeah.
dredge the harbor.
Yeah.
And we had to have 21 feet for a freighter.
Yeah.
And they just couldn't get in anymore. So that's what put us out of business.
That would be a federal decision to not put the money into it anymore.
And then went up, as you know, went up for grabs for many years to whoever wanted to take it over. And nobody would take it over, so the government finally gave Port Stanley the money to take it over, right? Yeah.
And what about, were you involved with the grain going out too? Like there were the grain elevators there?
No,
That
nothing. But
was
grain.
somebody else,
that was Thompson's, yeah.
Yeah. And so you started working here in Port Stanley before you moved here. When did you move here, Bob?
I moved here in 94, yeah.
Yeah.
94. 92, I'm sorry, 92, yeah.
And just tell us any of the changes you've seen in the village in your time here.
Well, they're incredible. I mean, it's hard to believe what's happened, but, ever since the harbor retired, I guess you would call it, or the town or municipality took it over, rather. Yeah, incredible changes. The pier, for example, that was always a bone of contention for years and years and years. So that was a big start.
What was the bone of contention about?
Well, was it necessary, the money to be spent on it? If the government hadn't given the municipality the money, I don't think it ever would have happened. It costed them humongous to do that. But it changed the winds here, predominantly south-southwest. You need that. Mainly, it wasn't really a pier. What it was a break wall, really, because of predominant winds. But when that was done, that really changed the town, basically. Yeah, and then all the new subdivisions, and so you wouldn't believe how much it's changed in 10 years. It's incredible. Yeah.
The change you're talking about with the west breakwater was the re-cementing of it and the stabilizing of it?
It was just
and opening it up to public to be able to walk on.
Exactly, yeah. That was a big plus. And that whole park area, Hoffus Park, that's really nice, all that type of thing. And then we got rid of the domes, that's all gone. It's all parking there. And as you know, Richardson's are gone too, Thompson's.
Yeah, grain elevators came down.
Elevators, yeah. So it's a different town, I'll tell you.
Its purpose is changing for sure.
Oh, it stayed like it was for a long, long time. It was an industrial harbor, and it was that way for a long, long time. Just ships coming in and trucks going out. That was basically it. Yeah. Long time.
Yeah, I think we often would see the big ships here when we'd come down to port.
Yeah, the biggest one I think was the Pioneer. It was almost 1,000 feet.
Wow.
Majority coal boats, they were 800 feet, 30,000 tons. So it's a lot of coal came in. Yeah, a lot of trucks went out.
All that ship load would come in. Would it be a stop off here and then somewhere else as well?
Just directly to here.
Wow.
Yeah.
And the potash from Saskatchewan, would it go by train to
It went by
Lake
train
Superior,
from Saskatchewan to Thunder Bay, and then
Yeah.
from Thunder Bay by ship all the way down here.
Oh.
Yeah, and went on for quite a while, well over 15 years, almost 15 years. Yeah. And then what happened, like everything else, Cargill built a facility on land up farther. The biggest problem here was coming down empty and taking a truck back.
Yeah.
But with them and Cargill, you could go in with a load, pick up a load, so it cut down that
Mm-hmm.
cost base. That's what really killed it in the end too.
So how does it get from Saskatchewan now? Does it go all the way by train or what?
I don't know.
Yeah.
Yes, basically, it goes into Wellburn mainly now by rail. There's 4 big domes there, like we had on, a little bit bigger, and it goes in there now. The majority of it shipped from there. Yeah.
Those domes that was their only purpose, was the potash?
Yeah, no, we put MAP through them, DAP, grain screening pellets, potash. Yeah, that was 4 different things went through the domes. Yeah. We were hooked up with W.G. Thompson for years, and we put all their product through there. Yeah, and then they switched and went to Cargill.
So they would be loaded off the ship directly into the top of the dome, is that?
Yeah, it was by conveyor belt.
Mm-hmm.
Big conveyor belt, and the top would open up hydraulically, and product would jump in and then close. Yeah.
And then you'd remove it from...
Move it from dome to dome, move the ship up. And we had a collapse one year. I don't know what happened, but I'd have to go over and supervise having the boom moved up or down, back or forth. And one year, for some reason, it just kept coming down and down. I kept radioing the guy, but it just kept coming. Crushed the whole dome right at the top.
Oh, the
right
conveyor
up.
belt came down on top of the
Yeah,
dome.
crushed the whole thing. Yeah.
Oh.
So they had to rebuild that. But it's the only accident we ever had there, basically.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Any other particular memories you want to share, either about the work or about Port Stanley in general?
Well, when I came down, it was of course, before I came down, I was at Ultramar, and like I said, we had a lot of tanks here. We had on Catherine Street, that used to be Aero Petroleums, and we had two tanks there that were cut down and sent to Montreal to be re-erected. The other 2 were gasoline. Ships used to come in and hook up on the harbor right where the restaurant is now, Riva, and there's a big pump there, and pump the gasoline all the way up to Catherine Street where it was loaded into the tanks. So that was just quit when I came here. Also on the other side, where it's now that vacant lot where it used to be, can't remember the name of the place, on Cargo Road.
Shamrock?
Cargo Road. Empty.
Oh, the Shamrock Chemical?
Yeah, Shamrock Chemicals, right, yeah. Used to be 2 big tanks in there that we owned, were cut down and sent to Montreal, I believe it was, and Toronto was the other one. They were taken away, but the other ones on our side, we were just cut down and scrapped, yeah. Yeah, a lot of history there. And in that regards, funny things happen. I can't think of a lot of funny things, but yeah, always good times. I was reprimanded a few times and taken up to the town hall at the time for coal dust, but it wasn't dust at all. What it was aphids. You ever hear that? It was a infestation of aphids. And people would call me and say, "Hey man, I got dust all over my table here and it's driving us crazy. You got to get rid of that coal and all that." So we'd go and investigate. It wasn't coal dust at all, because it was way over Orchard Beach area, right? And it was an infestation of aphids. So the ministry came from Environment Canada and checked it all out. And yeah, it's not coal dust, because coal dust, you can wipe it off. This, it was just different. So they took me, anyway, hauled me up into town hall, and the ministry was there protecting me, and they proved that it wasn't me at all. But it was quite a controversy at the time. A lot of people a little angry, but it passed.
That was probably when the town was changing a bit to more permanent residents.
No, I don't think so. No, it was really in the early days when I first came here, actually. Because before I came, the coal was loaded, but it wasn't. I used to treat it. I got great big pumps they used for forestry, for spraying the water on the piles. Right.
Okay.
I went to try to get them from Hamilton, and brought them here and hooked up a big pump, and every night we would spray the water with a great big, like the kind you see in the tobacco fields, right? Those big sprayers to keep the dust down. And then I also added a product too, was like a coating. We put a white coating on it, so that kept the dust down a lot. But part of that in the old days, they didn't bother much. But yeah.
And people put up with it better back in the old days?
Yeah, people put up with it because a lot of people came down and got it too, right, for heating their homes, right? So that all changed when they didn't heat their homes with coal anymore. Yeah.
Yeah, you must have had to make a lot of decisions if you're in charge of all that.
Yeah, we'd one big decision, which turned out to be actually a nightmare. We used to, well, I used to look after two places actually, Hamilton and here, and I looked after Oshawa too, like
Wow.
signing contracts and that type of thing. But we had a, what was it called? Ship. Anyway, we brought a ship in from Hamilton because when you bid on a ship for offloading, if it's a product, you bid on it and bring free flowing. Okay, has to be free flowing. Well, if you bring product up from Florida like MAP or DAP and you come through here in the wintertime, condensation in the hole builds up and the product, you can dig the center out, but the product stays on the walls. It doesn't move.
And is it frozen? Frozen against the walls? Is that?
Yeah, the moisture and made it rigid and it wouldn't free flow.
Yeah, right.
So unless it was free flowing, the stevedores wouldn't take it, and the big like Hamilton and those places. So they phoned me up to see if I would. Yeah. So it was only 10,000 tons, and it came down here, and that's what they done. They dug the center out, right, and left the sides standing up. So I rented a great big crane, and we had to put a ball on it, swing the crane over, get the ball, and knock it all down, right? Then I got a local contractor here with a bulldozer, and we lifted the bulldozer up and dropped it down into the hold and pushed the product to the center where we could pick it up with a crane. But anyway, during that procedure, the hold had, I think it had 5 holds on it, and each hold had a little crane, tower crane, maybe 20, 30 feet high, that would operate off the ship for loading, bringing stuff out, right? Well, we started out by lowering the bulldozer down, and the contractor was a local guy in town here, and it wasn't really a bulldozer we wanted, but we did it anyway. Well, I don't know the guy's name, but he did work for Ray Lunn at the time, and we lowered the bulldozer down with one of those cranes, but shouldn't have been doing it, way too heavy. So all of a sudden the cable slipped. The guy operating it, they wouldn't do it for us anymore, so this guy said, I can do it. So he comes on. Well, it slipped, and oh my God, I thought the bulldozer was going to right to the bottom of the ship. It fell, and the tower went, I thought. So after that, this didn't work. The bulldozer was meant for land, had really narrow tracks on it. Well, in Oshawa, we offloaded sugar ships, and we had a little dozer that had 4-foot tracks on it, and we'd walk right over top of the stuff, like no problem. So I brought that down in the middle of the night. Well, the person that I'd rented this machine from didn't take kindly to that. He thought, you don't have the right to do that, and he was quite boisterous. I remember going home at that time. I was living in London, and I'd been up all night basically offloading the ship, and he phoned, and he was quite irate about it all. But anyway, we got it out, and his son stayed and helped me out and operated that and pushed that around. So that was quite an experience. I hired a bunch of farmers from the area, because we had to bring it out, and because it had lumps in it, we had to go through a great big screening system into a hopper, and the truck would run underneath the hopper, and then we'd have to bust the lumps up on top because they wouldn't go through. So I had guys up there with sledgehammers.
Oh my gosh.
It was a nightmare, but it took to offload that 10,000 tons. I think it took us something like 4 days. It was an absolute nightmare, but we did it. But, yeah, that was one of the biggest experiences I remember.
That's a great story.
Did you bid on more product like that?
No, that was the last time. We came out okay, but I'd never do it again.
Yeah.
Never.
Did you get that bulldozer out of the hole?
Yeah, that was no problem. Yeah, it was a really neat little. We used to handle sugar from South Africa in Oshawa. But then remember when all the problem with South Africa with the embargoes and all that stuff, we put us right out of business there too. It was a huge, huge dome there. Floated the ship, and it was trucked up and dumped it on a conveyor into this big dome. just your raw sugar, not like free flowing. It was free flowing, but it was raw sugar. Yeah.
But what about the other bulldozer, the one where the crane broke? How'd you get that out
No,
of
that
there?
was Gord's. No, we got it out. No. Yeah, no, he got it back, but he was quite irate about it all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who owned it?
Well, he's not around anymore. Gord Hopper.
Gord Hopper,
Ever
yeah,
heard of
yeah.
you know, he got the old property
Well,
up
that's
there.
what I was wondering.
Yeah, top of the hill.
Yeah,
He was
that's
quite a character. I sold him. I used to look after, this doesn't have anything to do with here, but prior to my coming down, I was the assistant operations manager for Ultramar, and look after anything basically that they ran, gas stations, bulk plants, and that type of thing. So at that time, Gord Hopper was into taking calcium off the ships that came in, the drilling rigs, the calcium they get out when they're drilling. And he had a contract for that. And I don't know what he was doing with it, but he got into trouble and they wouldn't sell it to him anymore. But prior to that, I'd sold him. We were tearing, I used to look after it. We had 18 bulk plant situations, Simcoe, Delhi, all these places that took curing oil for the tobacco and fuel, diesel fuel, gasoline in small areas. And we'd truck it there and fill up their storage and they'd distribute it, right? Well, in the end, the pipeline came into Oxford Street in London and killed all that. So we tore all those places down. So Gord Hopper bought two, which are called vertical tanks. Are they still up there? 10,000 gallons straight up like this. And that's what he was storing the calcium in and shipping it out. I don't know whatever happened there, but they stopped him from doing it. Knowing Gord. Yeah. Yeah, it's a lot of stuff like that, you know.
The going back to the property that was on Catherine, that was a pretty quiet residential
It
street.
still is, yeah. I don't know what they're ever going to do with that property.
Yeah.
It's still vacant.
That's
right?
just vacant land right now.
Yeah, well, there used to be two really big, I think they're almost 5,000 gallon storage tanks, one for diesel, one for stove oil, and then there was a whole loading rack there for Aero Petroleums, which was Joe McManus owned, and you come in there and load the gasoline out of there.
So that was all trucked as well then?
Yeah.
That's what I was getting
Yep,
at.
all
So-
trucked out.
Yeah.
Yep, everything was trucked out.
Wow. Well, I can see people not enjoying the trucks going by.
Yeah,
so.
well, a lot of guys here worked for Sterling at the
Right.
time, right? Oh,
So
big
they-
time. A lot of the, he employed a lot of people here, so they didn't say too much. Yeah. That's what all the funny things I can, funny at the time, but
Yeah, but they're
quite an
interesting
experience.
stories because
Yeah.
it's part of the history
yeah.
of that industrial time.
Yeah, I've had things happen to me. One was the dullards on the shore that you hook your big cables to on the big ships. Well, some ships come in, they're really, really heavy, but on the other side, it was a little deeper, so we'd bring them in on that side, and then we'd pull them over to offload it, right? So one night, it was raining like hell, I remember that, and I was walking along the dock, and we were winching this boat over to get it closer, because it's quite an art offloading your product in order to get it all on the dock and which way to go. It's not that simple just dumping it on. So you move the ship quite a bit. So I was walking along and it was pouring rain. And I heard this snap. We're just winching across at the time, snap, and this dullard broke off. You know how big they are? Broke it off.
They're huge.
And flew right over me and right in the
gosh.
water ahead of me. I thought how close I came to getting
All the
finished.
tension that must have been on that chain. Was it a chain?
Yeah,
or
it's
a
cable, but those dullards are about that
Oh,
thick,
they're-
solid steel, and they're
Yeah.
like this, so big, you know. And yeah,
So
ripped
did
it
you
right
have to
off.
put it back?
Oh yeah, we had to replace it, but ripped it right. The shipping company paid for it, but
Oh.
they put it back on actually.
So you would come in on the east side of the pier and then winch it over.
Well, I would go to the west side
Okay, go to the west
and
side.
winch it over because
other
it
way.
was deeper on that side for some reason.
Okay.
And Hamilton, the terminal down there too. Well, you don't want me to get into that, do you? No. We had a terminal there. I was the first one to ever bring in a shipload from Czechoslovakia of urea ammonium nitrate. And the same thing there. Hamilton operated different. They had different depths of the channels, and you paid on whatever depth you had, right? So when we opened up down there, we didn't have seaway depth on this side, but the other side, which was Agricola, had seaway depth. So we brought a barge in and ran a pipeline all the way. The barge is over here, ran a pipe, welders and everything else, and ran it all the way down the dock into this tank, and then we brought our first load of urea ammonium nitrate into Hamilton, which used to be, in that tank, it used to be, it was diesel fuel, and we cleaned it all up. Then after that, we got into vegetable oil. We cleaned it all out and painted it inside and shipped vegetable oil out of there. Yeah, yeah. So that was quite an experience. I got a lot of speeding tickets because I was driving back and forth all the time.
You were covering a lot of ground.
Yeah, and Hamilton, you know, it's like Hamilton's like for one-way streets, man.
Yeah.
Jesus, I got nailed so many times.
Going the wrong way?
Yeah, going the wrong way. No, not the wrong way so much. One I really remember was I've been working all night, man. I'm beat. I want to get a hotel for the night, right? I'm going down one of the one-way streets. Don't ask me which one it was. Looking for a place, and I make this left-hand turn. A cop comes up behind me and pulls me over. What are you doing, man? Well, I'm looking for a hotel. Yeah, but it's great conversation, right? I thought, really nice guy. He's writing me a goddamn ticket for improper left-hand turn. There was nobody on the road at all, but the problem was the cop shop was right there. I remember that. So I got a lot of tickets there. Yeah, I did a lot of driving. Oshawa, Hamilton, back and forth a lot, yeah.
But your home was here all
Yeah,
that time.
yeah, for sure, yeah.
Where was your home, the first one you had? Was it?
In London.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
I had 3 different homes, yeah. South London, one I ended up on, out by...
But when you moved to Port Stanley, where did you live? You weren't in this house on Front Street initially, were you?
No, I lived with a friend for a while,
Yeah.
and then I bought this place later on, yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I've been here since 2000. What's that? 25 years. Yeah. An old cottage. This place and that place are the same house basically. Built from the same building, apparently torn apart. Yeah.
What do you know about that? When was your place built, do you think?
It'll be 100 years old, I believe, next year. It'll be
Yeah.
100 years old. And it wasn't like this when I moved in. It was all wood. Everything in here was like that. The walls, everything, no outlets.
You still got the wood ceiling.
Yeah, I left that. I left the upstairs like this.
Yeah.
It's beautiful. It looks like fur, is it?
It is fur,
Beautiful,
exactly, yeah. If you take it apart, it just splits all the pieces.
Yeah.
But you know, that was all put in by little wee damn nails. Yeah. Amazing, eh?
Amazing.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, Bob, thanks so much for
thank
sharing
you.
your memories today. It's good to have them recorded.
I could talk about a lot of things, but that doesn't get connected.
on.
You know,
Yeah, if you got more you want to say, feel free.
Mostly Port Stanley. We're mostly into that.
That's basically it as far as my work ethic. Yeah.
So what did?
And another thing was we'd have to drive we had a great big Cat 966D. When it first came down here, I don't know what was wrong with the company. I really don't know. They thought they weren't making any money, and they were making money. They were making a ton of money here, right? And when I came, they had 2 damn old loaders here that were just junk. And one, they had Huff loaders, and they had Detroit diesels in them. You know how noisy they are? The town just hated me for those things, because we'd be loading trucks 7 o'clock in the morning, right? You could hear it all over town. They made such a noise. So I finally convinced the company into buying a new loader. We bought a Cat 966D, which at the time was really quite expensive. But that one loader would outdo both those loaders like nothing. And half the time, 12-yard bucket on it was huge. And we'd have to use that damn loader, load coal on this side, drive it up, over the bridge, down, load potash, come back, clean the bucket out, back and forth, all through the town. Never once had an accident. All those years driving that loader through the town.
And presumably quieter.
Oh, really quiet. Beautiful machine, man. I loved operating that thing. 12-yard bucket. It was incredible.
What about after work? What would you do in the evenings or weekends around Port Stanley?
In Port Stanley, I found the winter hard. I still downhill skiing. I did a lot of that, and I go in the south, do some diving and stuff.
Okay, so you get out of Port Stanley.
Yeah.
In the winter.
There wasn't much to do in the winter time on Port Stanley, man. We used to go up to the ski bus, take a ski bus up to Blue Mountain all the time.
Okay.
Yeah.
But in the summer, you've got a canoe now. Were you canoeing in those days?
That's my passion, wilderness canoeing. Yeah. I do a lot of stuff. I make a lot of things of my own. I make bows, I make arrows, I make all that stuff. Goof around painting. Yeah.
Do you hunt with the bow and arrow?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
What do you hunt?
Deer.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm still a what you call a instinctive shooter. Mm. I shoot a recurve bow. I'm not into the compounds and all that kind of thing. I'm still the old school. And I make them out of wood. I make them out of white ash and white oak. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I enjoy archery, always have. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's an art to it, sure. Mm-hmm. It is sure art to it too.
Oh, it sure is, yeah. Very good, yeah. Yeah.
Well, that's excellent.
Thanks so much, Bob.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, it was good.